This is Eyes on Africa News on Hermela TV. I'm Hermela Aragawi. It's Tuesday, April 25th, 5 p.m. in Washington, D.C. A warning, this story may be disturbing to some. As the leaders in Ethiopia's northern war appear to be making peace, the surviving victims of the war are still struggling to heal their wounds. According to data from the Amhara Regional Administration, more than 2,000 women, children, and elderly were sexually assaulted by Tigray forces after the forces invaded the neighboring Amhara and Afar regions in August 2021. Experts say the number of victims are believed to be a lot more, as many don't report their attacks due to social stigma. I spoke with Dr. Mastala Makonnen, who has a PhD in counseling education and was teaching at a university in the US until mid-2021. That's when she decided to return to Ethiopia to help sexual assault survivors of the war.
Weaponization of sexual violence, there was a rape, gang rape, not only just a single rape, sexual slavery, and sexual torture.
Since December 2021, Dr. Mastala, along with a group of other professional women, have traveled to parts of the Amhara region to provide counseling and medical care to rape victims. Together, they have sat with about 1,000 women. The victims include pregnant women, elderly, disabled, children, and men, although because of stigma, men are less likely to talk about their experiences. Their stories are heartbreaking and very difficult to hear.
Oh yeah, there are so many painful experiences, especially the psychological stress, the emotional stress, the social stigmatization, the spiritual crisis.
One story that was particularly horrific is about a woman who was 9 months pregnant when 4 Tigray soldiers broke into her home.
And then they arrested her husband in front of their house with a tree, and her mother-in-law and sister-in-law were looking at her, but they just raped, even if she's 9 months pregnant. Then the umbilical cord just burst out, and there was a fluid. Then she's starting delivery.
What happened next is unthinkable.
They said, the perpetrators said that, oh, so if you are starting to give birth, we will wait for you. And if you just give birth a baby boy, we will kill him because we are not going to allow to grow up. And they waited for, and she gave birth. Unfortunately, it was a baby boy.
They suffocated the baby boy to death.
Yeah, they just suffocated him by a pillow. It was a stressful, Hermela. I can't express my emotion while talking about the story.
Through support from Dr. Mastala's organization Addis Amba and other generous donors, the woman was treated for her medical problems as a result of the brutal attack, which includes an ovarian infection.
Yeah, now she's psychologically stable, and she started up her business. She just opened a grocery shop, and she's working now.
Another painful story is about an elderly woman and her daughter who were both gang raped by the forces.
And at first, they just gang raped her daughter. She's 40 years old. Then they just go to the mom, which is 70 years old, and then they gang raped her.
The 70-year-old had lost consciousness, and when she woke up to look for her daughter, she found that she had hung herself.
She was crying while she was telling her story to me. She was crying. She was very broken, psychologically broken, emotionally broken.
On top of their painful assaults, the victims also face very serious stigma.
You know what? The current challenge is the social stigma. They are stigmatized by the community, by the system, and they can't afford the stigma.
Young boys and girls as young as 6 were also raped.
They are suffering from medical conditions, not only the psychological condition, but the medical condition.
As we're talking, Dr. Mastala said it's important not to take these stories and overgeneralize.
You know what, Hermela? There are also positive experiences instead of being biased.
She says some Tigray soldiers actually beat and even killed other soldiers who had been accused of assaulting women.
And they said that it is not our objective. Our objective is not to just abuse women. So that helped me to do not bias, to do not overgeneralize. So there are some, even if it is very rare.
Addis Amba is a small nonprofit organization that is run by women for women. If you'd like to help the organization continue their work, their bank information in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia is in the description below. Thanks for listening.